Hello and welcome back to the Fruitfulness Lessons. I'm Christina Osure. I did an introductory video in which I shared why we are doing these lessons. It's about fruitfulness with a very strong slant on fertility, because the way I set up this channel initially was a channel for fertility. So obviously fertility is a big part of fruitfulness, but it's not the only part. So these lessons will benefit anybody who's looking to increase fruitfulness in their life. All right, let's get straight into it. Now, what exactly is the first thing that God told creation? He asked them to be fruitful, to multiply, and to fill the earth. Let's actually go to the Bible, and I hope you got your hard copy Bibles. So let us go to the Bible and actually read from Genesis chapter 1, 27 to 28, and I'm reading from the New King James Version. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Then God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." All right, so we can see from the very, very beginning, God's intention was that man should be fruitful, man should multiply, man should fill the earth. And again, when you look around creation, you can actually see the same story. Paul says in one of his letters that even if you didn't know God, all you have to do is look at creation and you will know God. And it's so true. Like, look at the birds of the air, or even look at the flowers in the field. If you know anything about planting, look at any fruit tree you've ever planted. I have chilies that I've planted outside, and from one little seed of chili, so many chilies come forward. From one little seed of passion fruit or an apple, so many apples come forward. And literally you can see along all creation, across the ages, across the generations, God's plan of fruitfulness is etched in every species, everywhere. The birds just multiply. We human beings, can you imagine we started from two people, Adam and Eve? We all come from Adam and Eve, and look at how we've multiplied and filled the earth. If there's any definition of fruitfulness, it will be the work that God did in creating the earth. So that was his intention. He made us in his image, and in his image we too are meant to be fruitful. We too are meant to multiply. We too are meant to fill the earth. So it's very important to know that this is God's intention. Now, why am I telling you these basics, especially if you're a Christian? Why should you even worry about this? Like, these are things you know. Remember, when you're praying to God and asking him for things, it's important to quote his words back to him. He himself asks us to do that. He says that he honors his word above everything. So if you tell him, look, this is what you said, so I'm asking you for this because this is what you said, and you can actually give him the Bible verse. No, I'm not saying you say Genesis verse 3, chapter 1, whatever. I'm just saying you actually tell him his words, that in your word you said we should be fruitful and multiply, and that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I'm asking you for. So it's so important for you to have these verses with you. And if you remember from our introductory class, what did we say? We said it's so good that if you take notes and take these things back to your prayer closet and use them in your own prayers, because this is a practical lesson. If you just get the words and you don't do anything with them, the devil will steal them, or the cares of the world will choke them out of you. So for you to be fruitful, for you to benefit from all these videos, you need to put it into practice. All right? That's why it's important for us to understand the verse. What does God really want? This is what he wants. So you know those weak prayers that people might be praying, Lord, if it's your will, do it. If it's not your will, do it. That's just hedging. That's not a prayer that can convict someone to give you something. So you need to be very sure in your prayer. Is this something God really wants? And if you know that it's something he really wants, then go for it. Tell him it says so in your word. I know you. I know you. I have knowledge of you. I know this is what you want. So I'm not too sure why it's not working out for me. Show me if there's something else. Okay, so it's so important to know these Bible verses and to write them down for yourself and to take them to your prayer closet. Now, if God wanted us to be fruitful, why is that not the reality of some of us? What's going on there? Okay, so it could either be God changed his mind or there's something wrong. So let's tackle the side of, did God change his mind first and first of all? If we look at Hebrews chapter 13 from verse 8, it says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Okay? So Jesus Christ is the same. He hasn't changed. The Lord hasn't changed. He doesn't change his mind. He's exactly the same. What he said yesterday is what he wants today, is what he wants forever. And you can take that to the bank. When you're reading the Bible, just take it at face value. Take the words at face value. This was so hard for me to do. I struggled with this concept. I thought I was taking the word at face value, but I was hedging because I'm like, well, that's not the reality, so why? But that's not how the Bible works, okay? There's first the fact, then faith, then the experience. Many of us want to get the experience, then we will have the faith, all right? But there's fact. God tells you a fact, it's a fact. If he wants you to be fruitful, that's the fact. Then comes faith. Believe that he wants you to be fruitful, okay? Once you believe, then comes the experience. Then you will experience fruitfulness. But sometimes we want to first see the fruitfulness, then we will believe. Okay, so faith, fact, experience. It says Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. That's a fact. He doesn't change his mind. And actually, we should look at Malachi. The book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 6. I'm reading from NKJV. And it says, "For I am the Lord, I do not change. Therefore you're not consumed, O sons of Jacob." But I'm more interested in that first part. I am the Lord, I do not change. You know, sometimes we think God is like us. We change our mind so easily. We want to do one thing today, then we want to do something else tomorrow. Or we promise we'll do something today, and then we do something different the next day. God is not like that. He says, I am the Lord, I do not change. The things that he intends is actually what he intends. So if he said that he intends us to be fruitful, to multiply, to fill the earth, to have dominion, that's his intention, all right? It actually says, if we read James chapter 1, verse 17, it says in the book of James, and again I'm reading from NKJV, every good gift, and every perfect gift is from above and comes down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow of turning. You got that? There's no variation or shadow of turning for God. Actually, I love what it says in the NIV. We'll just read that from NIV. It translates that shadow of turning as who does not change, like shifting shadows. So you've seen the shadows on the wall, like if you move a bit, the shadows move with you and they're shifting all over the place. You can't quite put a handle on it. That's not God. He doesn't change. We are being told that there's no shadow of turning in God. He is timeless. So he doesn't change his mind the way we change our minds, okay? So he still wants us to be fruitful. He still wants us to multiply and have dominion. We know from God's side, nothing's changed. We know that every good gift comes from the Lord. He is goodness. He just has one nature, and that's goodness. He intends good. He says, I know what I intend for you. I have thoughts of good, not of evil. He intends good for you. If we read in Psalms 127, verse 3 to 4, he actually explains how he sees children. Okay, so he says, behold, children are a heritage from the Lord. The fruit of the womb is a reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior, so are the children of one's youth. We can see here again, children are a heritage from the Lord, a heritage, an inheritance. He wants you to have children. They are an inheritance from the Lord. The fruit of the womb is a reward. Who knew that being fruitful also includes the fruit of the womb, which is children? They are reward from the Lord, okay? So it doesn't mean that if you don't have children, he doesn't want to reward you. There's always things that are blocking, and I will get to that. That's why we are doing these lessons, to actually unravel what is going on. I don't want anybody to waste time and to waste their opportunity to get what God intends them to get. Okay, that's why he has me here making these videos, to guide you through whatever process you're going through. If it's fruitfulness of the womb, or if it's fruitfulness in other areas of your life, the lessons to apply are exactly the same. All right, so we can see that children are a reward from the Lord. And actually, even before we start procreating, I don't know why I didn't think about this when I was TTCing, when I was doing my IVFs. The children are a gift from the Lord. Before we were even formed, he knew us. You know, we the parents or the parents to be think that we are the ones who've determined what child we want. We are the ones who are discussing. We are the ones who chose each other as partners, and we are now procreating, and not understanding that God is actually heavily involved in the process. God is the one who creates the child. Let's read this in the Bible, in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, from verse 4 to 5. And it says, "Then the word of the Lord came to me, saying, before I formed you in the womb." So sorry, this is Jeremiah now speaking. The words of the Lord came to him, saying, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you. I ordained you a prophet to the nations." Even before you decide with your partner that you're going to get a child with your husband or your wife, God already knows. And God already knows what child He's going to give you and what they will be. He already knows. He's already ordained them and sanctified them for whatever purpose He's creating them for. All our purposes come from God. God is the one who puts our talents in us. He puts our needs and desires in us. And so He actually knows why He formed you. He's the one who forms the child in the womb. It amazes me that these many years later and all these advances, and we can still see that science is woefully inept in explaining creation. In fact, nobody can create a child. Even when they do IVF, they still have to take that egg that God created and that sperm that God created and put them together. It's still something that we human beings cannot do. It's a very unique process. God creates, He forms every child in the womb. He knows them. All right, everything comes from the Lord, and the Lord wants us to have children. In this first lesson, after the introduction, it was mainly to establish what's God's purpose. And again, as we're going through it, we'll see the way there's no shadow of turning in God. He kept repeating the same purpose over and over again. Even after the floods, He told Noah to be fruitful and to multiply. Throughout the generations, He tells the people to be fruitful. And children are always a blessing from the Lord. And so we need to then work out, if that's the case, what went wrong? Why is there infertility? Why is there that problem of barrenness? And we can see a lot of barrenness as well in the Bible. That's going to be what we explore in the next lesson or the next couple of lessons. I hope this really helped you. Keep those verses in mind. Make sure you take the notes. Make sure you take them back to your prayer closet. Always pray, people. Please, always pray. Use that verse, take it back to the Lord and ask Him for what He has promised you in His word. May God's favor and blessings rest upon you. I'm Christina Osure. Till next time. Bye.